Madison Square Garden doesn't do quiet. It does echoes. It does ghosts. It does nights where the lights burn hotter because something historic's about to happen. And that's what UFC 322 is shaping up to be. Two champion versus champion super fights on one card. Della Maddalena making his first welterweight title defense against Islam Makhachev, and Valentina Shevchenko defending her flyweight crown against Zhang Weili, who's chasing double champ history. 3 weeks earlier in Abu Dhabi at UFC 321, Zhang's vacated strawweight title gets settled when Virna Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern run it back with gold on the line. 3 events, 3 titles, 3 divisions changed forever. I'm Reggie Cross. This is Behind the Lines. If you're feeling the hum already, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. Dana White didn't just announce fights, he announced aftershocks. For UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, Jandiroba versus Dern for the vacant strawweight crown. For UFC 322 in New York, the Garden gets not 1, but 2 super fights. Della Maddalena defending against Islam Makhachev in the main event, and Valentina Shevchenko against Zhang Weili in the co-main. And, just to spice it up, Leon Edwards against Brazilian breakout Carlos Prates, the guy fresh off that spinning back elbow knockout in Chicago.
Oh! That was nasty by Carlos Cortez.
This isn't matchmaking. This is a declaration. Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight, that's been a drumbeat for years. Now it's here. At lightweight, Islam reigned for 3 years, defending the belt 4 straight times, the most in lightweight history. His last defense came at UFC 311, when Renato Moicano stepped in late and still got dismantled. Islam isn't just Khabib's heir, he's his own dynasty. He steals minutes, he compresses space, you blink and the round is gone. But welterweight is different. The hips are heavier, the frames are thicker, and Della Maddalena isn't a stepping stone. Della Maddalena didn't just beat Belal Muhammad at UFC 315, he outclassed him. And Belal's game isn't far off Islam's. Jack entered the UFC in 2021 through Contender Series. 8 fights since, 8 wins, 5 finishes, 6 performance bonuses, and now a world title. What makes Jack dangerous is his pocket work. He's a surgeon in there. Jab, pivot, hook to the ribs, back out clean. He makes violence look neat. Those body shots, they're investments that cash out by round 4. Islam wants to suffocate him. Jack wants to cut him open. This isn't coronation, it's collision. This fight breaks down into 3 battlegrounds. 1, center control. If Jack keeps his back off the cage, Islam has to shoot long. 2, first mat exchange. If Islam gets a ride early, Jack's gas tank gets taxed. If Jack scrambles out fast, Islam has to spend energy to reset. 3, body versus control economy. Della's rib shots start paying dividends in round 4. Islam's ride time pays interest from second 1. Islam's path, chain wrestle, smother, rinse, repeat. Jack's path, deny the warning track, jab to body, and punish Islam for every failed entry. Hey, just a quick breather. If you're vibing with real breakdowns, not just headlines, hit that like button. It helps push Behind the Lines to more fight fans like you. Appreciate you. Now, back to it. Valentina Shevchenko's second reign is proof you can reboot greatness. At UFC 306, she silenced the Alexa Grasso trilogy with a decisive win. At UFC 315, she defended against Manon Fiorot, showing that at 37, her timing, her trips, her counter lefts are still sharp. Shevchenko fights like a clock that always keeps time. Every step has a purpose. Every scramble, she's first. She's the metronome with a blade. Zhang Weili has been nothing short of dominant at strawweight. Since regaining her belt in 2022, She's defended 3 times against Amanda Nunes, Yan Xiaonan, and most recently Tatiana Suarez at UFC 312. 10 UFC wins, 5 bonuses, and a reputation for raw horsepower paired with better composure than ever. Now at 36, she's vacating her belt to climb into Valentina's world. If she wins, she becomes only the second woman, after Amanda Nunes, to capture belts in 2 divisions. Those fans have been calling for this matchup for years. Now it's here.
So what happens when the storm hits the clock? Valentina's keys: punish urgency with the counter left, dictate pace, and bank rounds with trips. Zhang's keys: cut the cage, tax the legs, and turn every exit into a clinch. The swing factor: the first scramble. Whoever wins that sets the tempo. Let me know your picks in the comments. Islam versus Della, Valentina versus Zhang, Jandiroba versus Dern. I'll pin the sharpest take before fight week. Now, at UFC 321, the throne Zhang left behind gets a new queen. Mackenzie Dern won the first fight at UFC 267, but since then, their paths diverged. Dern dropped 4 of her next 6, but has steadied with decision wins over Lupi Godinez and Amanda Ribas. Jandiroba, she's been on fire. 6 wins in her last 7, including Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos, Yan Xiaonan, and Godinez. 5 straight. She's in the best form of her career. This rematch is more than redemption, it's transformation on both sides. MSG doesn't just get titles, it gets stories. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Leon's rhythm striking versus a Brazilian firebrand who just went viral with a spinning back elbow knockout at UFC 319. And Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez II. The rematch with real contender stakes at 125. This card isn't top heavy, it's stacked. Now for my thoughts on the fights. Islam versus Della. Lean to Islam by decision. Control usually scales, but Della's body work is live late. Valentina versus Zhang. Slight edge Shevchenko in a razor decision, but Zhang's storm is always dangerous. Jandiroba versus Dern. Leaning Jandiroba on form, but Dern only needs 1 clean scramble. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates via knockout. His power is legit, and a single moment of control lost by Edwards can mean a highlight reel finish. Edwards has lost his last 2, and as much as I hate to say it, we may be seeing his last shot at fighting in the UFC. Madison Square Garden isn't an arena, it's a cathedral. The rafters hold ghosts of Ali, Frazier, Cotto Jones. On November 15th, they'll be watching. Islam Makhachev comes chasing empire. A second belt would etch him next to the sport's immortals. But Jack Della Maddalena stands there with surgeon's hands and the confidence of a man who's never lost in the UFC. If Islam wins, it's a dynasty. If Jack holds, it's a warning. Welterweight isn't for rent. Valentina Shevchenko enters as the sniper, the metronome who has defined a division. Zhang Weili walks in as the storm, daring to climb for history. If she wins, she joins Amanda Nunes as a 2-division queen. If Valentina defends, she proves that timing and precision still trump chaos. And in Abu Dhabi, Jandiroba and Dern fight for a crown. Zhang left behind proof that ambition never sleeps in this sport. Here's what matters. UFC 322 isn't just a fight card, it's a referendum on whether control scales up against power, on whether patience still beats chaos, on whether greatness is conquering new territory or defending your own until there's nothing left to prove. Nights like this aren't just fights, they're possibilities. They're gambles of legacy. They're the closest thing sports has to truth. I'm Reggie Cross. This is Behind the Lines. If you're feeling the vibe, hit subscribe and remember, hype fades,
Legacy don't. Peace.
745 with